Have you ever played a move in chess and the second you let go of the piece, you realize that you blundered? That's not bad luck, guys. That is weak visualization. Today, I'm going to be breaking down how beginners can actually train their board vision, calculate 2 to 3 moves ahead consistently, and finally stop throwing away winning positions, guys. So let's get right into this video. So we're going to be seeing 2 games at the beginner level. This is roughly around 1,000. We're going to see a good example of visualization and a very bad one. We're going to be putting the bad one first. So again, for the opening, you want to ensure that your pieces are completely active. Get them in the game, guys. You can't play chess without pieces. The middle game is where most persons struggle. Right here, this is where I want you guys to start taking notes. Now in the middle game, just ensure that you're putting pieces to good squares. Like here, if you have a bishop not doing anything, get it active. Push c5, activate the bishop. You could put the bishop on a6. You want it pointing in your opponent's side of the board to set up these tactics that I'm about to explain in this video. So rook to e1. Bishop to a6 is what I'm expecting. Again, activate some pieces, guys. We now had a knight going to the side of the board and no chaos happened. I even gave you guys time to take out the book and pen. If you're visualizing, again for beginners, 2 to 3 moves is like the sweet spot. All right. My number one rule when it comes on to tactics is if you don't see, don't play. Now in this position here, if you don't see a way to crash through, if you don't see like any tactics working, any forward moves that are in your favor, then you could just chill and keep pieces in a aggressive manner. So you just want them like pointing again in your opponent's half. Don't do this though. Don't be like, I know that there's something here, and then just bishop to h6 and sacrifice the piece in style. And then, you know, when it's time to actually like, I don't even want to go too much into detail with that part, but guys, if your thought process after you sacrifice a piece sounds like this, I don't see how it crashes through, but I know that there is something here. That is bad. If you don't see a tactic, don't force it. Don't be like, I have seen this somewhere before, this has to work. That is a big trap, guys. Because normally what you see is what's basically going to happen. So if black takes on h6, that's just a free piece. Now at this level, yeah, it is so dangerous black didn't take it. So I have heard the excuse many times. I have looked past it before, but now it's like really coming up like a lot. So I'm gonna put this aside, guys. If your opponent has an open king, like the shelter around the king is not the best, and you don't have access towards it, like in terms of you cannot get pieces over there, then it's not as weak as you think. Right? This is where planning comes in. If you can't tell me if form, like in other words, if it was only white to play in this scenario and I gave you 3 to 4 moves, what is the plan? And you can't tell me, like there is no attack, guys. Like you could move your queen up and down the place, like here. Like if white plays e5, just giving an example, like this, you're just down a piece and nothing happens. You check things at least 3 moves in or 2 moves depending on, again, like your level. And if you don't see it, if you can't see how you're crashing through, don't force it. So in other words, it's okay, you won't see every single tactic in chess. You're not Magnus Carlsen. If you play bishop to e3, you will not be losing in 1 or 2 moves. So keep it simple. If you need to work on your tactics to start seeing more of these, then that's better. Don't force things that you can't see. So bishop to h6, and again, black did not take this. Weak kings, you have to have access points. You have to show me lines, variations in which you're actually like showing that the king is truly in danger, like some checkmate formats. So e5 played by white here, and queen to g4. So black was gifted a piece, it was not taken. And remember, so it's this knight to f4, What I see is takes, takes, and that's a free pawn. We know how knight to e4, white is trying to attack. Alright, rook to e8, knight takes f6, queen takes f6, and believe it or not, guys, like, for advanced viewers, you don't even have these bad habits, which is why you're higher rated than most persons. At the lower levels, I keep telling you guys that you need to chase the level. Persons who are higher rated don't think like you guys, so which is why you need to adopt the mindset to play at that level. So bishop to g5 and knight takes e5. This is where, again, take notes, guys. Rook takes e5 is a good move, but it is bad visualization depending on why you played it. Now I'm going to be going into detail. You could be solving a tactic on chess.com, which is why most persons, again, they would, even if they're like working on the right tactics, they're not improving because they're not really doing it the correct way. You're not visualizing. Rook takes e5. You found the first move. Black plays the obvious, meaning like white plays the obvious. White has to recapture back on e5, and then you play knight e6. That means that you did not see this tactic all the way through. So if this was an equal game, what it would look like is you just basically gave white a free rook for nothing. You have to see the follow-up. You have to visualize the follow-up, which is this fork with f6, winning back one of these pieces. If you want a one-on-one session, then you could book through my website. The link is going to be in my description and my bio. Raheem Glaves Chess, the rook in this scenario. But in the game, nobody sees the tactics, but they're still playing it. It doesn't matter if you found the first move. You have to practice to visualize to see everything all the way through and build the good habits. Now, for guys wondering what's happening, look at this. To show you how dangerous this is, in terms of the viewers' eyes on YouTube, white did not win this game. Which is going to bring us to our next point. When it comes on to your chess, alright, especially board vision, you need to be very alert of your opponent's active pieces, meaning pieces that are pointing in your half of the board. Be very careful of this, okay? We are not worried about any rooks on a8 because it is not playing, it's passive. If it becomes active, we start, okay, that's just like too bad. All right, very good for our pieces, but just to give you an example. Let's say that we play a rook to d8 and the rook starts infiltrating. It looks like it wants to like get into our half of the board somehow. That's when we start to pay attention to those pieces. Currently, we have a bishop, very active. A knight, very active. A queen, active. It's like currently about to look on this area of the board. We know at f6, a free piece was taken. Very clean. Active rook, active bishop, active queen. And look, because of your rook, which is very active, he can't take this because of the queen. Active pieces. Offense is the best defense. Black played pawn to f6. And this, my fellow viewers, is where white sacrificed the bishop and, you know, with that, the sanity of his coach. So, bishop takes f6 here, and look, black only has two active pieces. And the worst thing about it is, I don't look at the blunder itself, I look at why was the blunder made. The reason behind the move is what is going to determine if it happens repeatedly. So please take note of that in your own games. White sacrifice, and even if it's in ours, this is like checkmate, guys, but even if black took, like, what did you see with this sacrifice? Like, there is still no way for you to crash through, even with the sacrifice happening, and there's no checkmate. So don't practice the sacrifice pieces blindly, alright? Whenever you're playing, especially for board vision time, watch out for your opponent's active pieces, like the line of vision. Be very careful. We're going to be going into the master class next. Like, what happens when you actually fix this? Now there are exercises that you can actually do. I have some custom ones, but if you're focusing on like you said, you don't really have like much material, like stop. Whenever you're playing a game and it gets like too tactical, start utilizing this in terms of looking 3 or 2 moves ahead. Don't just blindly take something. All right. If you're about to play a move that looks or feels risky, ensure that you're checking for your opponent's active pieces. Don't play the move and then be like, oh my god, what just happened? Check for the active pieces, guys. Your opponent's active pieces are going to be the ones causing the problems on your half of the board. If Magnus was 1000 elo, this is exactly how he would have played, guys. Now time for the masterclass. So here we had white just taking out his pieces like normal. Remember, don't focus too much on the opening. For visualization, it's going to come down to you in the middle game and actually utilizing what you see. So, see, it's in the word, visualize. And we're now here for the surprise, guys. This is understanding. Now, it's not even engine approved. Like, once you're on the right path, it just gets better, guys. Now, for more untrained eyes, let me explain more in detail. He wanted to get his bishop and stuff like his queen pointing towards that in the game, and then bishop to d3. Now remember, for beginner chess, just look at this. Alright, take, and for persons seeing my channel for the first time, we had bishop takes c3 in the game, and I keep stressing. Again, if you're a first time viewer, just write this down. When somebody attacks you in chess, your first instinct can't be to just react. It has to be to form a counter attack. Like, don't practice autopilot. Just don't make automatic moves in chess. You would be missing things, not even knowing. The further you go up in chess, you'll have a better understanding of when a position is truly critical. But let's say that your spider senses are like tingling here, and you're like, all right, I feel as if there's something in the position. The wrong way to do it is to sack a piece and then start like trying to make the tactic work. Like, you're like, all right, this is the bad way. Bishop takes h7, and I know that there is something in the position. After he takes, like, am I going to swing my queen and attack checkmate in one? And by the time you check it, you're losing everything. Bishop takes e5, everything is protected, and you're like, oh, and then you check it afterwards, and you're like, I knew I should have played this. That's not it. You need to see it ahead of time. And remember, 2-3 moves deep. So takes, king takes, rook to e1, only move king to h8. I won't even stress it too much on YouTube. Ensure that you're actually utilizing the right mindset. But rook takes g7 dynamite on the board. Like bro, rook takes rook to g1, only move. Like, if you block with the queen, that is easily taken. Have to step to h8. Queen to h6, guys, threatening checkmate. And queen to g7 checkmate. Black sacrificed his bishop, and after king to c1, black resigned. This is how I want you guys to visualize. Alright? Don't just sacrifice a piece and then hope and pray it works. When you sacrifice a piece, guys, the game is just supposed to be done. You need to see how the checkmate is actually happening, how you're winning the piece. If 2 to 3 moves have passed, again, depending on your level, I have different, different amount of difficulties depending on the level that you're at. But if you're starting out, practice the chess the right way, guys. Thanks again for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. See you again another time. And remember, take notes, apply this in your games, and your rating will grow. So, peace.